What's up, guys? It's been a minute since I uploaded on this channel. Um, yeah, I just want to kind of use this channel um, to kind of talk about the progress of Fragile Visions. Because Fragile Visions is something that is very, it's very important, and I feel like kind of like talking about the process is very important to see, how far we've gone with Fragile Visions. And what exactly is Fragile Visions? There's actually a lot of videos on YouTube right now that I uploaded about Fragile Visions. And what Fragile Visions is it's a superhero kind of story. It's it spans multiple forms of media. It's I'm writing a book. I'm making a feature. There's already been a short film, so go check that out. Fragile Visions: Edge of Oblivion on YouTube. Um, and ultimately, I feel like Fragile Visions is a celebration of everything that we love about heroes, and I feel like it's about people who are larger than life, but at the same time they're also broken, and that's I feel like it's a perfect representation of humanity. Like trying not to be too deep or trying not to be pretentious in a way where I'm putting too much emphasis on making these characters like too like relatable or too deep. Like I'm not that's not exactly what I'm trying to do here. What I'm trying to do is to create a story that I've been wanting to tell, but I feel like it's also a story that I feel like people can relate to. And you know um, what we've gone through in the past 5 years, granted I don't know what everybody's life was like before the pandemic. um, but I feel like after the pandemic the world was never the same. Like it's if you've ever watched that episode of The Flash where Jay Garrick was, talking about, when you mess with time, and you put everything back in its place, which is what I feel like everyone tried to do. That cup, like think of it as a cup when you break a piece off and you try to glue it back together or whatever. It's it's always gonna have that crease, that line that runs through it. It's never going to be as smooth as it was before. And I feel like that's what life is like post pandemic. And granted, I did make Fragile Visions before the pandemic, and it was like in 2018, and it was just kind of my crack of making my own superhero story. And it's something that was inspired by Infinity War, and I feel like Infinity War was such a massive celebration of what it is that the MCU was trying to do, and what I feel it was successful in. And I wanted to kind of do that myself, and it started with the Seer, which is a story that I feel like at some point in the future we're gonna get into. I'm trying not to be enigmatic in any way, but what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to show you how much time and effort that I put into Fragile Visions. And it's also important to have a transparency moving forward with how things have been, you know, not just for me, for everybody. I feel like everybody's going through it, and the saddest part is not everybody talks about it, and not everybody gets to talk about it. We've all gone through a lot of things, and at the moment it feels, to say the least, insurmountable, right? And I feel like that's why it's so important for me to get Fragile Visions up and running, because I mean, yeah, I was able to make a short film, but it's important to me as a not just as a creative, but as a person who is trying to make a difference, to have the story out. You know, it deals a lot with mental health, deals a lot with being broken and what that feels like, and making you know the wrong decision, making weird decisions. I feel like those are all factors, those are all outcomes of the things that we go through. And it's these times where we see how human we really are. Because I feel like when everything is going well, um, it's easy to to judge other people in the choices that they make. You know, it's easy to judge people and feel like you could do better than them when you're in that situation, when you're in a situation of fight or flight, or you're in a situation where you feel like your back is against the wall and you're not gonna make it. It brings out a different person, you know. Like people often romanticize, um, and I promise I'm gonna get back to what exactly why I'm talking about this. Like it's easy to romanticize um, being, you know, being broken or being tenacious, being resilient. But when these things often happen unexpectedly, sometimes it comes in droves and it comes in waves, where you don't know how to swim to shore and you're stuck in the middle of the sea for a long time. You know, I feel like a lot of people go through that. I feel like everybody in some way has gone through that. Even the people who we look at and we admire for being at a certain place that we want to be in, I guarantee you, more likely than not, they're probably going through their own thing too. Like things were just never the same, and I can't explain it. I don't know. I don't. It's like a weird universal shift where I feel like we all had to go through some kind of trauma, and this trauma brought us apart. You know, from one another, from our families, from our friends, and part of it I feel like attributes to the fact that we haven't truly understood what it means to be a human, you know? And to be a human, I feel, as cheesy as it sounds, is synonymous, I feel like, to being hero. Because when you're alive, when you choose to live, when you choose to get up every single day, despite you know, the opposition, or despite um, all of the things that have happened to you, you know, you move forward. Move forward. Sometimes you crawl forward. And choosing to live is showing people that it can be done despite whatever you go through. And I feel like with what I've written so far with Fragile Visions, and I'm not gonna make any official announcements of what the future of Fragile Visions is gonna be like, but something concrete is that there will be a feature. Um, we're still working on that, but it truly is a celebration of humanity. I feel like Fragile Visions. That's what we're trying to do here, and that's what you know. That's what this represents. And so, you know, it's just a little update. I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm not trying to um, just trying to talk. You know, just trying to talk mano y mano. Um, and with that, I just want to say thank you for watching. Expect more stuff from us soon. Um, it's really exciting. It's really exciting. We've got a lot in the cards, and just keep supporting us, and we'll get right into it soon.